you like.
Alright, this is good content. Let's start the thing. Alright.
Welcome to OurBad. I'm Bobby. I'm here with Matthew, and we're sitting down with Mason. How you doing,
guys?
Mason?
No longer Basin Mason.
Free from Basin Mason.
Free from Basin Mason.
Oh, clean cut Mason.
Yeah. I had to get my hair cut today for you guys.
Looks good.
Thank you.
I miss your long hair.
I do too.
Yeah.
Run my fingers through it.
That's such pretty. You still got great hair, but you have great hair.
Like a lion's mane.
It was so thick.
Yeah, I'm gonna grow it back out. I'm gonna keep it short for this summer and then grow it back out. That's the plan.
Bobby's growing his. He's got his little bun poking up. See it?
I'm like really specific with who I let cut my hair, and I just can't find somebody.
Have you tried our guy yet?
Who's y'all's guy?
Brian Melfi go to?
Across the street from our job?
No, bro.
That's where he went?
This is Black Creek Barbershop on Roosevelt?
He was going to my guy.
Oh, the Latino barbershop. Yeah, I went there, and I fuck with that guy.
Yeah. He wants to come on the podcast.
But the thing is, Brian told me he charged him $35, and then I went there, and I always plan a tip regardless, and then he shot me $45. So I gave him $55, and then I was like, man, I can't afford that. So
I give him $60 every time I go there.
60?
Yeah.
Damn.
It's $45, I think, for hair and beard.
Am I a cheap ass?
I mean, so if you're like, I'm really picky about who cuts my hair, you should probably you should probably tip that person well.
Yeah, you're right.
If it's that serious to you.
Yeah, because honestly, if a bar wanted to fuck you, bro, if he knew you had something important going on, and mad at you,
right?
You wouldn't even know, bro. You wouldn't even know if you all fucked up in the back.
Shave a ball sack.
Scribble a little.
Just anything. You do something so slight that only in the right light you catch it. And it's damn, that's fucked up. But
nah, he's a good dude though. The barber. You went to him?
Yeah.
JP.
That's the bald guy, right?
Short guy.
Well, the guy I went to was really tall. I kind of just went in there. I set up an appointment.
You didn't have JP. You got booked.
Well, he did a really good job, and it was
they're all.
It's no surprise because anytime I've ever been in jail, it's always the Latinos giving the fire fades.
So you've been to jail before?
I've had my fair share.
Mason, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I was born in Jacksonville, Florida. What do we want to know?
Okay, so you struggled with your things. You're a little bit of addiction problem, right?
Yeah. So
we're all in the same book club.
Is that why you went to jail? Is that why you went to jail?
So I got a cocaine trafficking charge.
Yes.
When I was 23. I had been to jail multiple times before that.
Even if you don't go because of drug-related charges, for me it was I was on drugs, or I was trying to get drugs, or drugs were involved.
Doing illegal things to acquire drugs.
Yeah, it was somewhere in the story there was drugs and alcohol. I think
I heard a statistic the majority of people doing time are in there because of drug-related.
Yeah.
So
I never went sober.
You used to be on the other side of things, and now you don't live like that anymore.
I don't live like that anymore.
Tell us a little bit about your experience and how you got to not living like that. What brought you?
Okay, so my first addiction when it came to drugs was not using them but selling them, and just with the lifestyle, I started to experiment, and it was fun and sustainable for a long time, and I did a couple overnight bids, and then when I was 23 I got myself into some real trouble. I already had a DUI at that point in time. I got another DUI in 2019, and this was I gotten out of jail, and I didn't have $30,000 to re-up with, so I was kind of just
how much?
So when I got my drug trafficking charge, I had to give my lawyer $5,000 for a deposit, just for him to sign and be like, all right, I'm your lawyer now. And so I ended up forking over another $25,000, and it was crazy. I had him saved in my phone as Saul Goodman, and Y'all know that? Yeah.
It's all good, man.
Yeah. So he was kind of like that. You know, I remember him telling me, he was like, Mason, if you're gonna be bagging up coke and selling it, you need to be wearing gloves, okay? Because we got a piss test coming up soon, and like, you know what I mean? Like, and I'm like this young in my 20s. I'm like, cool, you know. I got like a an official lawyer telling me this stuff, you know. But like looking back on it, I'm like, why didn't the guy just tell me like, this is not what you want to be doing?
That's the only way he's gonna get his 25 grand.
Yeah.
Right.
Get that, flipping burgers at McDonald's.
I was like, James, I still got like 9 ounces of blow left. Like, and he was like calling me, bothering me about like money I owed him. And he was like, well, unfortunately, Mason, you can't pay me in cocaine, so I'm gonna need you to sell that coke. Like, that's what kind of lawyer I
need cash.
Yeah, and then you have like lawyer-client privilege. So
a real boss lawyer would have taken the cocaine. Now, you can pay me in cocaine.
Can I pay?
Nah, you don't make him do. You gotta do the work.
No, I'm just saying, like a real boss lawyer, like.
So when I got out, the only place that I had was my grandmother's house, and she's like the crazy cat lady off The Simpsons.
Nice.
There's like 20 cats running around inside. They've been chain smoking for like 50 years without cracking a window open. It's kind of like just a dark, dingy, depressing place. And she was also like a hoarder, so like. The bedroom she had set out for me was like her storage room. So like you open the door, there's the bed right there, and then there's boxes stacked high up to the ceiling. And I had like a little walkway space, my bed, the dresser, and I still had my safe, because like she was like, her house was like one of my stash spots. So like I got out after doing my time at the P farm, and I still had like 2 ounces of fish scale in the safe. And, so I went to the Matrix, got kicked out of the Matrix, and did the rest of my time at the P farm. And in the Matrix
program...
Why did you
get kicked out of the Matrix?
So the Matrix system can be very corrupt, like I was honestly trying to like do the best thing, I kind of was like a little target in the Matrix.
Yeah.
So like the inmates are in charge. Like it's like a structure system, and they're like the inmates decide whether you're gonna stay or go. So I spent like 75 days there, and they booted me.
You got kicked off the island.
Yeah, the island,
yeah.
The inmate island. So I had to go do the rest of my time at the P farm, and. But while I was at the Matrix, it's like AA boot camp, almost, if I had to describe it. And so when I got out of when I got out and got to my grandma's house, like everything I heard in the Matrix program went into one ear, out the other. When I saw that safe, I knew it was in it. I cracked it open, and I used that little dresser space to just start busting out lines. And I remember having this clear thought, man, I don't have, 30 grand of re-up money anymore. If I start going back to like the same drug habits that I had before, without all the clientele and all, the weight, it's gonna go downhill really quick. And I was like, well, I guess I'm a junkie then. I just started ripping.
Okay, I was gonna ask, it was like, did you dabble? Because it's like, it's hard to sell cocaine if you fucking do cocaine.
I mean... So I was selling it before I was doing it, and by the time I had started doing it, like I was getting like a quarter key at a time. So it was like,
so when you
it's hard to fall off when I needed divine intervention. I needed the law. I needed something to intervene. Yeah.
I hope you were paying 30 grand for a quarter key.
No, I was paying 10 grand,
That's a lot.
Which is tax. Think about it. It's like 9,500 an ounce.
I mean, I've never bought more than an 8-ball.
It's tax because I know my plug was getting it for 25 a key.
Well, that's
so.
Yeah.
Anyways,
that's how it works. You get it, break it down.
Okay, so anyways, now
this isn't how to sell drugs.
You no longer do or sell drugs, correct? How long have you not done drugs for?
So a little over a year. My sobriety date is 10/27/24.
Nice.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
That's a lot over a year.
Yeah.
Almost a year and a half.
Yeah, I guess you're right. So I had almost 7 months clean from everything, and I smoked a blunt with my dad. You know, it was actually, I went to a sober rave. It was like a Halloween rave at Penman. You know, there was a lot of cool guys in AA, hot girls there. You know, I'm still like socially awkward. And when it was over, they invited me to a house party. So I get there and there's like a bunch of like fine girls like dressed in slutty outfits, you know, Halloween outfits, and like all the cool AA dudes. And I'm
So it was like a house party?
I got like, yeah. I got like a social anxiety attack. I was like, I gotta get out of here, you know? The hot girls made me nervous, you know?
I never get invited to cool stuff like that.
Yeah, so,
Yeah, I didn't know they had those.
Yeah.
House parties.
So I got an Uber to my dad's house, and, you know, he was on the back porch smoking a joint, and I was like, he was like, oh, I thought you were sober. I'm like, it's just weed. Knowing he was gonna pass it to me. He's like, cause, you know, the whole time he's like, son, you're not an alcoholic. You just had like a drug problem, you know? And he just doesn't know, you know, like he can do coke like a gentleman, you know?
Damn. Just pinky up?
Nice.
Yeah. Like, well, I mean, he's a car salesman, so.
So anyways,
In the industry.
let's get back to the, before all that.
Before all.
You had the stuff, you had the safe,
Yeah.
you had that moment of clarity, like, I'm about to do all this shit.
Yeah, so I got out. I started doing drugs immediately. I got a job. I got my plug to front me. You know, I hit up all my contacts, you know, and I was basically starting over, you know. Because when you're getting things in such high quantity, you're getting a good discount. You know?
Yeah.
When I was getting 5-10 pounds of weed, I was paying a lot less than what I was being fronted. So I picked up on the drug habits. You know, I was smoking Roxy, smoking fentanyl of tinfoil, you know. And to be starting over and not having all that weight, that's like not sustainable. And so I started working a job too. And it got miserable real quick. So
Where were you working?
I was working in a different number of places, but I remember I was working at McGowan's Heating and Air Conditioning. You know, I was just like
I've heard of them.
one of their laborers, and yeah, I would get up early in the morning after having no sleep. You know, I couldn't wait to get off. I'd be hitting up my dope man while I was at the job site, you know. And I'm the type of alcoholic, drug addict, like, I was an opioid addict, you know, primarily. Yeah. And, you know, if my dope man wasn't at my grandma's house when I got home from work, I'm not doing anything productive. I'm not getting in the shower. And I'm like, I worked a dirty, nasty construction job. Like, you know, I'm not getting in the shower. I'm not eating. I'm not doing anything but sitting in this chair until he pulls up so I can smoke what I need. Then I can get in the shower and function like a normal human being, you know. And,
Yeah, shit sucks.
so I would work that job during the day. I would sell bags of coke and weed and pills out of their house at night. They had 3 chihuahuas. My grandpa sleeps on the couch, you know, so every time I crack the door open, all the chihuahuas will, and he's like, wake up. I'm like, God damn it, you know. And, so that didn't last very long. So I had this, like, idea that if I, you know, life got miserable pretty quick, you know. I was basically just working a job and selling drugs just to get high. And, you know, I wasn't paying any rent at my grandma's place. And it just got miserable. You know, I was pissing them off. My uncle would be, you know, tattletaling on me, you know, every day. Mason's in the front yard selling drugs again, you know. My grandpa, God damn it, you know. And, you know, my poor little Filipino grandma, she's like, oh, Mason, you know, I made her cry so many times because she was worried, you know. She was worried that Grandpa was gonna kick me out, and rightly so.
So did he?
Well, so I decided I'm not gonna sell drugs anymore. So I didn't want to live like this anymore. I remember, all right, if I stop selling drugs, then I'll stop using drugs. That was my big idea. So I watched like a wad of $6,000 whittle away to nothing over the course of like a couple months. And I remember I got home from my construction job, I had my last $20 bill, and I'm like, I'm dope sick. I'm like clutching this $20 bill, I'm all sweaty. And like that's when I had my first, step one moment prior to ever coming into AA. I literally hit my knees, and I had never like spoke to God before. I had like this anti-religion thing about me my whole life. Until recently, AA does that to you. I'm not religious now, but I'm just, higher power based, But I hit my knees, and, I was crying a little bit, God, please help me, and he did eventually, I didn't, anyway, so I got what I needed, got high, I ran out of money. Now I'm paycheck to paycheck, and so my grandpa used to be a mechanic for the Navy, so there's like a garage full of tools, Next thing you know, that's my new source of how I'm gonna, I'm hitting the pawn shops, going down that route, and so yeah, I ended up getting kicked out, and
So something you just said, you said God helped you eventually, but sometimes the bad stuff we go through, the pain, the suffering, that's part of God.
Yeah, for sure.
It's part of the help, because right?
Oh yeah.
Like that's what it takes to change some pain.
Totally
so
agree.
You could be in the middle of God answering your prayer, and you think He's not, but actually He's giving you exactly what you need, which is pain. Pain is a great motivator.
100%. So I get kicked out. I ended up going all over. I'll call it my Florida man episode era. I hit up Fort Pierce, Miami.
I lived in Fort Pierce.
Pompano. Just all these different places. Hollywood, Florida. And at one point,
centers or just going there?
I was in a treatment center at one point, in Pompano.
Were you just bouncing couch to couch? You got friends in those places? Like, hit somebody up?
I made friends.
Oh, you just show up in fucking towns and meet people?
I mean, sometimes I would sleep in sketchy areas. At one point I was staying...
So yeah, you had a vehicle?
No.
Oh,
I'm just backpacking it.
Shut the fuck up.
Florida man style.
Like hitchhiking and shit.
Yeah, how I had long, beautiful, luscious hair. Well,
how
got
did
it
you
all
not get
knotted
murdered?
up, and I'm like one of those guys on the sidewalk talking to himself. Like,
all right.
At one point, I was living in an abandoned boat on a dry dock marina. It was like meth town, but I was like a crackhead, so like, who was I to judge,
Yeah.
And I smoked meth with this girl on this boat, and I started doing that for a little bit, and I had a revolver, and I would walk circles around this boat for like 3 hours at a time. And it's a dry dock marina, so like the purpose of it is for like people to work on their boats, and and it's like broad daylight, and I'm just walking circles around this boat, and like people are like sanding their boats down, like what's up with this guy? And I'm like, I'm just making sure nobody's doing nothing they're not supposed to be doing,
Tweaking.
Yeah, tweaking. Yeah.
I'm just tweaking. No
yeah, exactly, dude. But it was cool. Like there was a river, and like I had my dog with me. We go take baths in the river, and
Savage,
I was living the life for a little bit. I was going to local farmers markets, like offering to like help them set up their tents and like break it down in exchange for like fruits and vegetables.
Fuck yeah.
Like it was kind of adventurous, but
you should write a book, bro.
Yeah, it was also.
You really should.
It sounds like an experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you can remember.
Being sober is better.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, but like you should write a book. Like that sounds like crazy fun.
My mom's told me that, and I try to tell her, like, Mom, like, you should see these other people I'm in AA with. Like, I'm literally no exception.
It's
like,
still
there's
fun,
so
though.
many like miracles, you know.
You still write a book?
Yeah, I could.
Gino wrote a book.
I know. I read it. It's
Me too.
cool. Yeah.
We had him on here. I read it the night before.
I was in the Matrix with Gino.
The night before he came on. Really?
Yeah.
So you met Gino?
He's my sponsor now.
I know. Yeah.
He's a good dude.
Anthony
funny,
Giovanni
too.
Genovese
Yeah.
or whatever.
So he had his like spiritual awakening, but I was too like focused on what was going on with me when I was in the Matrix. I didn't really like notice a change in him, you know, while I was, because he was just like one of like 80 inmates, you know.
Yeah.
But he's a big inspiration for sure.
So.
All right, so you're a Florida man. All right.
All right, so what? All right, you guys are asking me what brought me into AA.
Yeah.
All right, so the first AA meeting I ever went to.
I like the story, man.
No, that's good. I like all this.
All right, so the first AA
lead-up's good.
meeting I ever went to was like a week after my first DUI when I was 21. I had to do community service. So like, you ever seen people with spray bottles at the Java Club walking around with and shit? I was one of those people, and it was back when they had like all the rectangular tables lined up in rows, and it was like a candlelight meeting. And I peer in on one of these meetings, you know, I'm supposed to be working, but I'm being nosy, and I remember there was this chick all the way in the back corner. She had everyone's attention, and she's like venting and crying about how she can't stop smoking weed. And I listened for a couple minutes. I'm like, these people are fucking pussies, you know? I was like, man, like, I do real drugs. Like, so that was my first impression of AA. And then ever since, I was like, you know, that's not going to work for me because those people don't party how I party, you know? And how did I end up coming back to Gateway? All right, so I had already been to Gateway at one point. I went to Gateway.
Just the detox or residential?
Residential. So
how'd you end up back in Jacksonville? Like, how did the Florida run end?
Well, I'll tell you. I actually called my mom and begged her to take me back to Gateway. All right.
So how were you making money when you were Florida man? Did you have like savings or?
I was going to AA meetings and like finding side work.
Okay.
Yeah.
While you were Florida man and getting high.
Right.
So you like go to a meeting.
Yeah, I was going to meetings during the day, smoking crack by night.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fucking I love it. I love it, dude.
Yeah, man. And so the first time I went to Gateway, I overdosed and I woke up in the hospital. And I don't know if y'all know Ian from Project Save Lives.
Yeah.
So I wake up in the hospital and Ian's there to the left of me. And he's like, hey, man, you look fucked up. I'm like waking up, got drool on myself. You know, I'm like all sweaty and messy looking. And I'm like, yeah. And I look over to my right and my mom's sitting there looking at me. You know, to the right of her is my little brother. He's looking at her, looking at me. He's looking back at me. You know, and Ian's like, yeah, well, I also work for Gateway through Project Save Lives, and it looks like you could use our help. You know, you want to give rehab a try. And I can just remember, you know, him saying that, and I look back at my mom, look back at my brother, and my little brother's like expecting an answer from me. You know, my mom's sitting there crying, so like I look back at Ian, I'm like, all right, yeah, I'll go. You know, but in my mind, I'm like, okay, this is happening now. You know, like. And I was still young and naive. Like, I thought, like, you know, I didn't know what I was messing around with as far as this, like, addiction game.
Yeah.
You know, so I thought, like, all right, I'll just go to Gateway and get sober, you know, but I won't change any of my actions, you know. Like, this is just going to be a phase of my life. You know, everything's going to work out. You know, you know, when you're young, you still think, like, you know, everything's going to be fine, you know. And,
oh, yeah.
So I got there and I spent a whopping 20 days there before I got kicked out. I was doing all the dumb shit, you know, I was fraternizing. I was, and I couldn't get out of like hustle mentality. So this was pre-COVID, the first time I was at Gateway. So they still had like face-to-face visitations. And so I would get my grandmother, my poor, naive grandmother, to bring me in cartons of 305s. And she's like, "Are you sure this is okay?" And I'm like, "Yes, Grandma, we can smoke here." And we couldn't smoke there. I was like, "Just conceal them when you hand them to me," you know? So I was like the cigarette man at Gateway. And I don't know what I was thinking, like, am I going to get rich off of selling like 50-cent cigarettes?
Bro, there's always like a cigarette man though.
And yeah, it's ridiculous. Like they had like cameras everywhere. My door was right under a camera, and after every meeting, there was like a line of guys like just like at my door, like I'm handing cigarettes out. And yeah, so they kicked me out, rightfully so. I didn't have anywhere to go, so they sent me to Salzbacher. Salzbacher is like a complete dope hole. You know, and that's where I got my first hit of crack. So now I'm doing opioids and crack. Now everybody I did business with at the beach, I was like, you know, I was like a closet junkie, you know, like I would serve them and then, you know, smoke my fentanyl down the street after I ride off, you know. So I still had a good face. And I would just hit these people up, and like, "Hey, I'm back on deck," or you know, I'm trying to get back on deck, and I would lure them downtown, you know, and like, "I need you to sell me something now. Like, can you bring me an ounce of this or whatever?" And it's like these are people that I sold to, and so they're like, "All right, I got you." And I was luring people downtown, and just I got familiar with like the little downtown streets and. Me and my little homeless friends at the shelter, we were like, you know, robbing them basically. And I kept on overdosing at the homeless shelter. So one day finally Steve woke me up on the bench and he was like, "You got to get out of here. You know, like we can't keep calling the ambulance to come revive you, you know." And so I guess I did a little Florida Manning era there too. So what brought me to being sober right now, so I was in Pompano, and this is so fucked up, but I was smoking crack with a bunch of guys behind a gas station, and the crack runs out, right? And there's this one guy, and he's like, "I got some crack in my hotel, I want to just come back with me and we'll smoke," you know. I'm like, "All right." In my head, I'm like, "This is fishy," you know. So, but I already know what I'm getting myself into. So I get to the hotel with this guy, and there's another guy there sitting there watching porn on his phone, and I'm like instantly alarmed. But like when I see what kind of porn he's watching, I'm like a little bit at ease because like it's straight porn, you know. So the guy that brought me to the hotel, he's like, no, the guy on the couch that was watching the porn. He was like, "Oh, you're back. Are we gonna get high?" And then the guy that brought me was like, "No, you ain't putting out." I'm like, "What the fuck?" So this one guy leaves, right? And now it's just me and this guy. So like we start smoking crack, and then you know he comes out the closet, you know, and so basically I spent like 30 minutes of this guy like trying to like play grab ass with me in his hotel room. Like he like. You know, get close to me, I like sidestep, I'm like, "Hey, you gonna let me hit that?" And yeah, so that happened for like 30 minutes, and the Brillo got so clogged up, he was like, "I'm gonna go get some more Brillo. I'll be back," you know, and
you robbed him.
Here's the thing, there was still like a 40 of, like there was a couple pieces of dope still left, and I was just so high out of my mind and so like disgusted in the situation I was in. I left the crack there. I rode my bike all the way to my mom's house. She was in Pompano at the time, and I get to her house at like 6 in the morning, right when she's getting home from work, and because she was working night shift at some casino. And like I'm trying to get into the house, and then she comes up behind me, and she's like, "What are you doing?" And like I lied to her. I was like, because this is like a better sounding story, you know. Like I was like, I've been at the beach all night tripping on mushrooms, you know, that's why I'm awake right now. And she's like, all right, you know, she lets me in. It sounds better than, you know, like, I was out smoking crack all night. I almost sucked dick for it, Mom. And so the next morning, you know, I'm still discussing to myself, and I'm like, Mom, can you please just take me back to Gateway? You know, like, I want to get sober for real this time. And she called out of work that night, and I got in touch with Ian again. He was still there. And he got a bed for me immediately, you know, and that was like a pivotal turning point, you know, like I had reached a rock bottom sufficient enough, you know. So, yeah.
So you went to residential again?
Went to residential again. I was there for like 90 days, you know, and then it was...
Did it right?
Did it right, you know, I was listening, I wasn't like staying in bed during the meetings, I wasn't fraternizing or like being flirtatious with any of the women or the staff, you know. I wasn't selling cigarettes, I wasn't even hitting vapes in the bathroom. Like now, like the second time I was there, like vapes were like super prevalent, you know, so I went like a few months without vaping, and I ended up like giving in and finally, you know, hitting vapes in the bathroom. But I was really trying to do like, you know, a complete, what do they call it, like a mental
paradigm shift.
Yeah. Yeah. The way you said that, you were like, anyways. So then it came time, like, all right, you've been here for a while, you got to go somewhere. So they took me on a tour to Alumni House. And I was like, no offense, but like, I'm not coming here. Like, this place reminds me of Salzbacher, you know? So I was like, you know, I was calling Tradition House every single day because I did a tour of that place after I did a tour at Alumni House. And that place was like, you know, pearly gates compared to Alumni House. So, you know, I kept on bothering the shit out of them. Like, I was calling them like twice a day, you know? And, finally they were like, all right, we got a bed for you, you know. So I got there, and I did have a relapse after that, you know, because I was still like I was still going to meetings, you know, just to go to meetings, you know. I wasn't doing any of the steps. Any sponsor I had up until this point and after this point, when I'm living at the halfway house, I just like wasted their time basically. I did like the 1, 2, 3 step shuffle, you know.
Listen, I've seen you grow a lot, dude. Like, yeah. Honestly, and it's pretty impressive. Like, because like you did kind of similar like to the way I did. Like, I didn't have a license. Like, I was riding the bus, and then I got a bike, and then I got a scooter, and then I got a motorcycle, and then I got a car. And like, it was kind of cool to see you, like, you know, you're on foot, you're riding the bus and shit, and the next thing you know, you're whipping around on your little electric scooter. Yeah. And then you got like a badass fucking electric scooter, and now you got a car, bro. Like, it's fucking cool, man. You like slowly gain things back, even though you struggled a little bit, but you're doing good, man. It's cool. And
like the car I have now is like the biggest piece of shit I've ever had in my life. No offense, Rodney. I love you. But like,
can we talk about that? The whole story?
Alright, so
this is good right here.
So alright, I'm doing my steps with Mike Fisher, and so in my early 20s on my 8th step, one of my things that I did is I went car hopping. Like, I drank a tall boy, took a Xanax, and next thing you know, I was like, I gotta go steal shit.
Oh, that's what Xanax does.
Yeah, so I'm on this nice neighborhood on Kernan, and called Waterleaf. And
oh yeah,
you know that neighborhood?
Mm-hmm.
And I remember exactly what street it was on. I don't remember exactly which house, but I broke into a car. I broke into a lot of cars, and I was getting ballsy with it too. Like, I would like go in people's cars, right? All right, so I got access to their car. Then I would hit their garage door button, and then their door would open. I would like run across the street and like hide in some bushes, and if like no lights turned on, I would go like enter the house through the garage door, and like I was stealing like PlayStations, shit like that. Like I can't make amends to those people. Like those kind of amends are kind of like living amends, like, you know, just being a better person in society.
But you never got caught doing that. That's
right.
No good.
I know. So I broke into this one car and it had a bank envelope with $3,500 in it. So I stole that, of course, and I told Mike Fisher about it, and he was like, all right, well, and I was like, I bet I could find the house, like if I just go up and down the street and like look at the houses, like maybe knock on some doors. He was like, that is a terrible idea. You're gonna get shot in the face, you know. And I was like, yeah, you're probably right. And so he's like, one day when the time is right, you're gonna donate $3,500 to a charitable cause of your choosing. So I put that off for the longest. Like he was suggesting that I do $20 here, $20 there, you know, set up some like, you know, consistent, you know, $40 a week to whatever charity. And like I'm hard-headed, so I was like, no, when I have the money, I'll just do it all at once. So the time came where, and my license had been suspended for 5 years. So by the time I was able to reinstate my license, I had about $3,500 saved up. And so I had like a fork in the road choice to make. Do I make this amends, or do I go buy myself a nice used car? And I thought about it. Like, I'd be lying if I didn't say like I thought about just getting a car, you know. But, you know, something, probably my higher power, told me, you know, you still owe this to society. And, you know, I had done a lot of my other amends. So I was like, you know what, I'm just going to get it out of the way. And at this point, Fisher's like, no, you need to get a car at this point. Like, you can still make little payments. And I'm hard-headed, so I was like, no. Like, there's 3 halfway houses I got in mind that have been like a staple in my recovery, you know, and, you know, that's $1,000 a piece, and I could just get it out of the way. So I donated $1,000 to 4th Street, $1,000 to Alco, and $1,000 to Java, because those were like the 3 halfway houses that I was like at all the time, going to meetings. And I have yet to do the other 500. I think I'm gonna do like an animal shelter or something like that. And so after choosing not getting a car, you know, selfishly, I get my year. I hit a year sober, and shortly after that, Rodney, my old roommate, just gives me a car.
Nice.
So it all worked out. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
What's wrong with the car?
So I had to replace a radiator hose immediately. Like, it broke down on the way from picking it up to dropping it off at my buddy's in Maplewood.
It was a free car.
Yeah, it was a free car.
It's a free fucking car.
And what's really cool about it is, like, I knew this car was gonna have a lot of problems. So Black Friday, I went and got like a 300-piece mechanic set.
Nice.
And I'm like not mechanically inclined at all.
YouTube University, brother.
That's what I've been doing. It's like super gratifying, like making a non-running engine, you know, running again, you know. So I fixed like the radiator hose, water pump, just swapping spark plugs for the first time in my life, doing like little meticulous shit. But it's like,
that's cool.
Now I know how to do stuff like that.
Yeah, I don't know how to do any of that. That's awesome.
Oh yeah.
Did my oil change for the first time.
You did it yourself, or?
Yeah, I'm a fucking, yeah. Yeah. So,
nice. Hell yeah. That's cool, man.
Thanks.
So there's one other thing I wanted to ask you about, if you want to talk about it, but cockroach.
What about it? I just did, like, I had a massive war on roaches in my house.
No, not that, the figurative cockroach.
Oh, okay.
You told me the other day you almost got a cockroach tattooed on your face?
Yeah, so you know where people do like the teardrop thing? I was thinking about getting a roach here.
Don't get a face tattoo.
I'm not. So this was like back when I was doing drugs. This was when I was living at the homeless shelter, like middlemaning crack and like using that money for my fentanyl addiction. Like, I reached out to my dad, and my dad was like, "You're scum of the earth. Like, I don't even know how you're my son, you know." And I ended up, before trying AA again, I went to a ayahuasca ceremony in Orlando, and during my trip, like, I closed my eyes, and then like it was a complete like blackout experience, and like there was this little light, and like my soul was like zooming in on it, right? And so it's zooming in, and this little light is like moving around. It's like this like pearlescent, like translucent, like colorful little creature, and it's zooming in, and I'm making out a cockroach. So it's a cockroach. And then in my trip, I realized like that's me, because like in the beginning, I was like going into a bad trip, thinking about like what my dad told me, like, you're scum of the earth. Like, I'm like, scum of the earth, scum of the earth. Like, what's the most low life thing I can think of? And so I manifested myself into being a roach in this trip, but it was like the most beautiful cockroach like I had ever seen. So like I came out of the trip, and we had like integration with the group the next day, and I explained what I just said, and this girl was like, I don't think that means you're scum of the earth. I think that means you're a survivor. And you know, it was like, it kind of made sense, because like if we had World War III and like nuclear weapons, like the roaches would be what existed. And so when she said that, I was like, I'm in love with you, you know, first off.
First of all.
Yeah. So I got back on drugs, and then I thought that, I was like, I'm going to get a roach tatted on my face. Terrible idea.
Can you imagine?
You know, it sounds good when you're on drugs.
Have to explain that the rest of your life. Like, is that a music note?
I was like, you know, if
Is that
I'm
roach?
just gonna wear one of those like little circular Band-Aids
Like Nelly?
to an interview, you know. Then when they hire me and get comfortable with me, this is the real me.
La cucaracha.
Yeah, you gotta work in the back of the house now.
Yeah.
To the ditch pit, boy.
Yeah, exactly.
A fucking roach on your face. They're not gonna let you in the restaurant, bro. Get the fuck out of here.
It's not a roach, it's a palmetto bug.
Yeah.
No, there's a story behind it.
Oh, let me tell you, it's a really good story.
I was at an ayahuasca retreat.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, he's gotta go.
Silly.
This help me get sober.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fun.
It's my higher power.
So how are you, Matt? How's your week?
It's good.
Yeah?
You know, pretty standard. So tomorrow is my birthday.
Oh, shit.
Just, you know, by the time you see this podcast, it will have already been my birthday.
Happy birthday.
So this will be. I'm 38 right now. I will be 39.
Ew.
Last year in my 30s. That's good. I haven't even started my 40s yet. I feel good about that.
I'm getting old, bro.
How old are you?
42. Old as fuck.
What's it like being a...
It sucks, dude.
Are you over the hill? Is
I'm
40?
dead. I'm almost dead.
Bro, I remember when my parents turned 40, and it was like a big deal. They had over the hill parties and stuff.
I feel like y'all still have like young spirits though.
Yeah.
I look
Do
so
you
good
feel
for 42.
42?
No, and I don't look. Most people don't
But
think
like,
I'm
what
42.
is that? What does 42 feel like? That's what I realized. Like, I mean,
I have people all the time tell me they think I'm in my early 30s.
I don't think people think I'm 39. I feel like
I thought you were younger than that.
I'm achy. My body hurts sometimes.
Cold plunge.
I'm
You need a
younger.
cold plunge.
And yeah.
How old are you, Mason?
I'm 32.
Oh, baby.
So I was 33, like, when I begun my journey. Yeah. But, like, about to turn 34.
Oh, I started at like one day old. You started at 30?
Yeah, I just spawned.
That's
Just
wild.
middle-aged.
I started my
With
journey
a beard.
at like 1. My biggest problem was I was born at a really young age.
I hate when
I
people-
didn't fucking know.
I hate when people say that when they tell their story. It was funny the first time I heard it, which is probably like my second week going to meetings. Well, I was born at a young age.
No way.
You ever heard that before?
Yeah.
Uh-uh.
I do it.
People say it all the time.
I do it.
Are you gonna do it on
I
April
might.
9th?
Yeah,
Let's tell a story on April 9th.
sure am.
I already put in for time off in my WhatsApp group.
Yeah.
I said, hey, I need 4 nights off.
It's 2 days after my birthday. Your birthday, my birthday.
So then I have a surprise. Tomorrow was looking like it was gonna be easy because you want Friday to be an easy day.
Yeah.
But it never seems to happen.
Not on
So
your birthday.
TJ called me up and was like, hey, just so you know, we got to do this big asphalt patch tomorrow. Shane wants us to go to Trail Mart, so it's in freaking St. Augustine or like World Golf Village area. So I called my boss and I was like, yeah, I heard you were thinking of me on my birthday. He's like, today's your birthday? I was like, no, it's tomorrow. I heard you had a present for me. He's like, oh yeah, asphalt patch. He's like, put a candle in the middle of it.
Nice.
Well, no, it's all good. Ain't a big deal.
Maybe like eat a cake.
Yeah.
Some pie.
So how's the job hunt going for you?
So I took a job. I was working somewhere, and I didn't stay. I quit. I worked 3 days, and I was like, nah, bunch of red flags.
Another restaurant place?
Yeah, and like none of the bartenders had been there. Like there was literally like so many bartenders, and not one of them had worked there for like over a year.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's a big red flag. And then one of the managers said something in passing about how they like super overscheduled last year for St. Patty's Day, and everybody got fucked and only made like $150 a piece. And like, I was like, I'm not trying to be here for that. Like, so
Right.
I just quit. There's a bunch of other shit too, but. So anyways, I decided to, because I have been bartending at Bahama Breeze for the last 5 years, which is like, we do have a full liquor bar, but a lot of our drinks are batched. So in my mind, I was like, am I even like a good bartender? So I was like, I'm going to take a bartending class. So I've been taking this bartending class all week, and the fucking teacher loves me.
How do you like the class?
It's so, like, I knew everything. I know
How long is a day in bartending class?
9 to 1.
That's not
Monday
bad.
through Friday.
How much does that cost?
$400.
I
But
might
pretty
do it.
cheap.
I'm gonna do it.
it's really fun. It's fun. And like, it's very, like, there's tons of knowledge. Like, they teach you a ton of shit. I just knew it all. I was
Is there a
I know all that
certificate?
shit. Yeah, you get a little certificate and shit too.
So
But she's like trying to get me to teach the class now. She's like, you want to teach this class? 'Cause I don't want to do it
Take
anymore.
over
I was
from it.
like, she's like, you totally could. She's like, you should start a bar rescue thing. She's like,
But I see it. I feel like you having 5 years experience is like more, valuable than having a certificate now.
absolutely. I just wanted
There's
to take
something to add to it.
I just wanted to take the class because like
Make sure you
to
had
see like, do I actually know what the fuck I'm doing?
Right.
And, I clearly I do. So that's
I come
exciting.
see you in action one day.
It's like fucking stoked. I was like, oh, she's like, man, like I didn't know. She's like, in the very first day, she's like, why are you here? I was like, well, I'm bartending at Bahama Breeze, so I told her the same thing. I was like, a lot of our drinks are batched.
I'm
even
here
though
to
we
take
batch
your
them.
job.
I was like, but a lot of the drinks are fucking.
like does that
they
mean
just-
pre-mixed?
Yeah, it's like the Bahama Mama, the King, like everything that's going out to tables
Yeah.
is batched. Which, because we're doing so many drinks, you can't hand make everywhere. Like, I mean, you can, but like we don't at Bahama Breeze because it's a Darden restaurant. So like
Call
instead
them
of
out.
hand
They're,
make,
they're telling them.
instead of
Expose them
hand
now.
making every drink that's going out of the restaurant, they're made earlier in the day. So they make big, huge batches. of
Oh,
them.
okay.
So it's
Just
just
pour 'em.
you just pour it into a cup. So like
But at the bar, you
just
actually
out of service. But
You
when I
make
make
the
when I
drinks
make
at
a
the
yes,
bar.
if a bar guest orders a drink, I hand make that drink. I'm not
Right,
gonna
you have to.
I'm not gonna pour it out of a container for them.
Yeah.
Be like, there you go.
$17.
Because people want to see their drink being made.
Hell yeah.
So also like the batch drinks I didn't make it, so it's not as good. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
there's a prep team that does that. Like my
Probably,
drinks
it's
are
probably
fucking
weak. It's probably
Yeah,
like
yeah,
everything
it's not
exactly what
gonna be one. It's not a Bobby
Watered
drink.
down. Yeah.
It's not. It's just not a Bobby
Does a
drink.
Bobby drink get you lit?
Bobby drink gets you fucked up. That's how you make money. Because I used to drink, so like everybody at Bahama Breeze would tell you I pour the strongest drinks in that restaurant.
Hell yeah.
It's probably when they went out of business. You fucking
No, all of Bahama Breeze went out of business because I was
That's probably
behind
why
the bar.
they got-
Yeah, 5 years.
One
5 years
restaurant.
added up day by day.
If anything, that's probably why they got more business.
I know. Just
Dude, Bobby got us fucked up.
So, anyways, it's cool. She really boosted my confidence. And then also, I just found out that I had a bunch of money in my 401k, like a lot. that I didn't know about, and they're giving me a bunch of money. So like I was real fucking stressed out because I was like, I had enough money to be okay for like 2 months, and then I was like, I would have been broke. Like I don't know what to do. Now I'm like, honestly, I could like not work for the next half a year if I wanted to, and I would say,
now you can take your time.
Yeah, I can. Now I can apply some real nice places and like actually
y'all need me. Like not like I need a job.
I'm not stressed out anymore.
It's a 2-way street.
Who's gonna earn?
Dude, I literally just found this out too. I'm getting like fucking 12 grand in like 3 days, and like it just happened. Like I found out like 2 hours ago.
How much did they penalize you?
They charged me like 3 grand.
So you had 15.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
No, I need it.
Yeah.
Fucking give it to me.
Charge you $3 grand for what?
To pull it out.
If you pull out early in your 401k,
they charge me fines and penalties and shit. But I didn't even listen to this. This is even better.
Yeah.
So when I first started Bahama Breeze, I worked there like 3 months and I relapsed. And I got drunk and fucking like went to the trap and fucking it was like a whole thing and spent a bunch of money. But like I came back a couple days later. Well, when I was in my little blackout, I opened that 401k. I didn't even know it existed until about 6 months ago, and I had no idea it had 15K in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like fucking, thank God. Thank God I relapsed.
So you never looked at your paycheck and seen like.
No, because you don't get a paycheck like that. It gets loaded on a card.
It just shows
and
up.
like if you go in the app, you can like.
Yeah.
It's all like year to date bullshit, like tips claimed.
Yeah.
Like I don't fucking pay attention. I don't care. You're giving me like $86. You know what I mean? A week. Like who gives a fuck? All my money's in tips. Like I don't.
What about credit card tips?
So credit card tips you pull out of the drawer and it goes in your cup. And like if I'm working with another bartender, we split it at the end of the night. But everything you get is cash unless it's service. If it's like if I'm getting tip out from the servers making their drinks, then it gets loaded on a card. And honestly, sometimes at night, what it gets
we
loaded.
tip our bartender in cash.
Yeah, it's all done through the system. So it would get loaded on the card, and honestly, more at night from my tip share would get loaded on the card than my checks. So like when my check would hit, it wasn't even a fucking big deal. Like I would just be like, oh, $60 just got loaded on my pay card.
Probably because that 401k was coming out.
Fucking, I don't care, bro.
It worked out though.
I was given 15% is what I read because I was reading it today, like, and I was given 15% of my.
And now we don't have to pay taxes on our tips.
Wait, you're
That's
giving 15% of what?
Whatever I was claiming, one of my credit card tips and shit.
Per check?
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Yeah, that's how I got 15K.
That's a lot. Mine's 3.
Yeah.
3%. But they match it. Mine's 3.
They were matching mine.
All 15?
Yeah, I guess. I don't know.
That's a lot. Hell yeah. I'm glad you did that.
Fuck me too. But like on paper, I don't make a lot of money. It's all cash. You know what I mean? A lot of cash.
That's cool, man.
So what episode is this?
21, I think.
Is it?
How long have we been doing this?
I don't fucking know. No one watches.
You watch?
I'm not gonna lie, like I haven't seen the past few ones. I don't know who was on them.
So you don't know about the freestyle segment?
But I watched Mike Fisher's. I watched Jason's. I watched like 2 others.
This one was good. You had.
Yeah, you were good. You're great, man.
Do you know about the freestyle segment?
No.
What? At the end, we put a beat on and then just let the guests like freestyle.
Stop playing with me.
Yeah, but like kind of like
tell me to bring my roommate.
Talk about your sobriety story. You ready?
I think this is your field. You're the music man, bro.
I just think the beat.
I didn't bring Christian with me. Is this a real thing?
Yeah, it's make me so.
Like, I gotta go back and rewatch the episode. I want to see Michael
I came
Fisher
up with
rap.
that in the car. I was like, so you say you watched the episode, so you're familiar with the freestyle? Okay, cool. Yeah, and then
Are you drinking orange dreamsicle?
Yeah.
You fucking gross.
Bro, I got it. Amazon. I got the variety pack. I mean, I don't hate it like you do. It's my least favorite.
It makes me want to vomit.
Dude, you know where y'all gotta start going? I just found out about this place, Mega Liquidation Center.
Where is it?
There's 3 of them. So there's one off University,
Oh, I've seen that before.
one off Blanding, and they had like cases of that for like pennies on the dollar.
Rain?
Yeah.
Huh.
They got any? I got like the clothing brand Champion.
Yeah.
I got a pair of gym shorts for like $7.
Nice.
They got everything from like electronics to groceries to
I can totally see you Florida manning because I remember like now like thinking back like I've seen you like driving down like I've been driving down like Beach Boulevard, right?
Yeah,
like on my way to work, and you'd be like having a plant or something, just like walking down the road in a bag. Like what's fucking Mason doing with that motherfucker? I think one time I seen you with like a pineapple or something.
Yeah, man. I try to eat healthy, you know.
Yeah, that's good.
I just bought this.
I know you do be cooking some good looking shit posted on the internet.
Yeah, not recently because, you know, I was doing that while I was working construction, so like that was like a little side hobby, but now I work around food all day, you know, I don't want to come home and work.
Yeah, it's so convenient.
Start cooking when I just had access to a bunch of food.
So much food, so much free food too. Especially if you got a good relationship with your management team. It's just like the cooks.
Oh, I'm sure Uptown looks out for.
I mean, people call in orders all the time and they never pick it up. So
yeah,
like,
dead food. Oh, so much dead food.
I used to hate working on the line and just
my
like
roommates
fried.
Okay.
Have a little Savior Day with just fried.
I want some omelets. It's like, fuck yeah.
That's why you gotta have a good relationship with your cooks.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, this is awesome, man. You did great.
Thanks,
Fucking,
guys.
I loved it.
Yeah,
I learned
man.
so much about you.
I'm honored y'all would ask me to
Yeah,
do this.
man, that's cool.
It's pretty cool. Never thought I'd be on a sober podcast.
Me neither.
Yeah, who'd have thought?
We're just gonna keep going. One day we'll hit the algorithm. We'll get it again, bro. I'm gonna end with this. Did y'all see that post I put with the light? That said, I don't know what to do.
Yeah, I seen that.
Bro, it went viral.
Really?
Yeah, it has 200 likes. And out of the 200 likes, like half of them is people who I don't know who they are.
Nice.
Like, this is the people I know.
When you say it went viral, I thought you were gonna say 200,000.
Well, no, but I never had.
Shares.
Those are all people I don't know, bro. Howard, like, I've never had that happen on a post before.
Right.
Like, I'm not friends with any of those people.
That's cool.
And it has.
That happens on Instagram.
And it has
I don't get it.
16 shares, 92 comments.
What?
Yeah, and I pulled up to that light, and I was like, it was like all crazy looking like that, and then it just turned red. And I was wanting to get a picture of it, but it turned red, so I had my phone out with the camera waiting for it to turn green. I was like, I wonder if it's going to do it again.
Were you at the red light, like looking at the other people, like looking around, like what are we supposed to do?
No, I knew what to do. I actually did know what to do when I took the picture, but I just posted it. I don't know what to do. It's funny, like those are what people like a funny caption like that.
It was great.
I don't know what to do.
Implode.
And then 92 people decided to say what I should do.
What was the funniest response?
Randy Zoll.
What did he say?
He said, let me find it. When your girl says you can go hang out with the boys.
That is fucking good. All right, good job.
Hey, just this comment has 19 reactions.
That's funny. That's good.
Makes me want to do it again.
We should end with that for sure.
Yeah, that's funny. I gotta post. I gotta remember to put this on here. But yeah, that's when your girl says you can hang out with the boys.
Yeah. Make sure you put it on the thing
That's
so they can see it. That's funny. All right.
All right.
Have a good night.